So I think many of you know that Jean has decided to retire. And so this is likely the last graduation unless we can somehow convince her to hang on for another one, which we keep trying, but so far her spouse has tried to put a kibosh on that. So there's something special that we wanted to do for her, and those of us who are sort of in the decanal positions here at the School of Nursing would like to do something for her on behalf of the whole School of Nursing. So we're each going to take a turn reading a portion of our script here, and then by the time we get to the end, I think you'll understand where we're going. A career as a dean is made up of millions of moments. Some of them, like today, are formal events celebrating the collective accomplishments of students. On days like today, a dean's leadership is visible to all as they lead the procession of faculty and deliver the charge to new graduates. But on other days, in fact, the vast majority of other days, the moments that make up the career of a dean are virtually invisible to outside observers, and even to some of us who are on the faculty. These millions of moments have one thing in common. They all require the dean to make some sort of choice and to advocate on behalf of the school.
Sometimes these choices are so intuitive they don't even feel like choices at the time. A choice to listen when a faculty member popped their head in the door for a quick chat, or a choice to meet with a student who needed career advice. It's the hard choices a dean makes that we rarely see. Being a dean involves a cascade of choices that affect everyone in the dean's life: their spouse, children, grandchildren, friends, faculty, staff, and students. Sacrifices are made, opportunities are pursued, while other opportunities are set aside. And all of it is made to look easy and seamless and graceful by a skilled dean like Jean Johnson.
Most truly exceptional leaders had a hero they looked up to when they were younger, and Jean is no exception. When we learned who Jean's childhood hero was, her career as a dean made so much sense to us. Jean's hero was a man who lived by a strict moral code based on the following key principles. To have a friend, a man must be one. All individuals are created equal, and everyone has within themselves the power to make this a better world. There's abundant firewood here on earth, but every person must gather and light it themselves. Be prepared physically, mentally, and morally to fight when necessary for what is right. Individuals should make the most of the equipment they have. Sooner or later, somewhere, somehow, we must settle with the world and make payment for what we have taken. All things change, but truth and truth alone lives on forever.
So, Jean's childhood hero was the Lone Ranger. And as a young girl, she loved her tutu as much as she loved her six-shooters. And rumor has it, she often wore them both at the same time. The Lone Ranger's moral code closely parallels the way Jean carries out her work as dean. She looks to do the greatest good for the greatest number of people, and she asks the same of everyone with whom she works. The Lone Ranger was not really alone. He worked side by side with Tonto. At times, this partnership was life-saving for them both and for others as well. Throughout the years, Jean has created many partners with colleagues across the university, in the community, and within her family. This is one of Jean's defining traits, the ability to engage others in a common vision and an objective and goal.
I am also speaking on behalf of Dr. Belinda Teppenhoff, who is unable to be here today. In honoring today, Jean's last School of Nursing graduation ceremony as our dean, her faculty, staff, students, family, and friends worked together to create a work of art commemorating a few thousand of the millions of moments comprising her career. Individually, these snapshots in time capture official events like awards won, speeches given, and headlines written. But just as importantly, they capture faces of the people in Jean's life, both personally and professionally. Together, these snapshots make up a bigger picture visually, much as these moments in time make up her career.
Jean, the School of Nursing would like to present a gift to you. And words can't really begin to express how much your leadership has meant to us, and this is going to make me cry. The Lone Ranger was your hero, but you'll always be yours.
Jean, tonight you're not going to get the last word. What a great celebration this has been. And it truly has taken a village, beginning with the students and their family and friends who brought us together along with the faculty and the staff to have this wonderful celebration of this graduating class of nurses. It is also the case, though, that we wouldn't be here today in this place or in the school if it hadn't been for the goals, persistence, and effort of my wife and colleague, Dr. Jean Johnson, with whom I've had the wonderful good fortune to have spent the last 35 years as her partner, co-parent, and colleague, and to have had a hand in raising 4 children, 2 of which are here with their spouses, and 3 of our grandchildren. Stand up. We're Pop-Up and Mimi to them. Jean came to GW as a newly minted nurse practitioner instructor in what was a small NP program that was actually in some jeopardy of failing, only to find herself, about 7 or 8 months after she got here, thrust into the role of program director. Somehow she managed not only to keep the program alive, but was able to turn it into one of the top NP programs in the country, and at the same time, get her PhD from GW, raise 4 fantastic children, maintain a circle of close friends, and be a wonderful partner and professional colleague to me. Talk about multitasking. While this is not the time or the place to trace the development of the school in detail, suffice it to say, while she had a lot of help and encouragement along the way from nursing colleagues like Dodie Harper and Ellen Dawson, who's here tonight, and from then the new president of GW, Steve Knapp, and Provost Steve Lerman. There were also those who felt that nursing should remain as a small program in the medical school or be done away with altogether. How she managed to move not only forward with her dream, but actually make friends with most of those who opposed her is one of her many talents. She's one of those rare leaders who not only leads by example, but by sharing her enthusiasm, recognizing and nurturing the talents of others, many of whom are here on this stage. And it's something that all of you graduates may want to emulate as you become leaders in the future. So Jean, I know I speak for all of your friends, your family, your nursing colleagues, and the students and friends and family who have gathered here tonight when I say thanks for being you.
I am going to get the last word. Actually, I have to tell you how humbled I am. I have been humbled by our students and how bright and committed they are. I have been humbled by our faculty who are bright and committed, and that I just thank my lucky stars every day that I work with such wonderful people. And I thank my family who have put up with me for so many years, of late night meetings, weekend activities and meetings, and sometimes I think that they felt, particularly my kids, that perhaps I felt that I cared more about my students, but they knew that I really loved them all the time. So thank you, everybody. I love my Lone Ranger. That is going to have such a special place, and it does have a special place in my heart. He was my hero. So what I'm going to say to everyone, thank you. Please join us on the Mall on Sunday. The university graduation is spectacular, and I think that it is so much fun that you really will enjoy it. But in the meantime, immediately, there is a reception across the street at the Marvin Center, and please join us and celebrate this wonderful day. I'd like to ask that all the guests remain seated for the recession, and the faculty will lead, and then the students will follow. And thank you.